Can't tell you where you're going. Can't tell you for how long. Nothing you've done, nothing you're ever going to do counts now. Only the next few hours. Tonight, you're going to find your souls.
Early 43, I was drafted. It was different from anything I had ever experienced before. We weren't issued any firearms at the time. It was just learn how to do what you're told, more or less. I was one of the younger men in the whole my company, and I'll be 90 tomorrow. Well, I was with those guys every day for 3 years. Some of them were like brothers, and some of them were not. It's just a whole different life for me, but I grew up. I stopped being a boy and became a man. Right before the Battle of the Bulge, we went up to Kriemkelt, Belgium, to, I think they called it reconnoiter, a place where we were going to move into. So we stopped the convoy, and the company commander and the section leaders, we went on up a few miles and looked over the place where everything was going to be. And when we went back to get the company, the Germans blew a bridge, and we didn't have the right way to get to where we were going. And instead of being ready to fire by 9 o'clock, it was about 3 in the morning. I would have done the same thing my captain did. He said my Jeep driver took a wrong turn. And I went from driving a Jeep to driving a 36,000-pound tractor towing an 18,000-pound gun, which was a blessing, because I could follow somebody and not have to sort it out myself. And I stayed with that for the rest of the war. If we moved, of course I had to drive the tractor and pull the gun. But the minute it stopped and the gun was in place, well, I lived on that machine gun. And they found this railroad bridge at Remagen, Germany. We were sent to guard that bridge. They repaired part of it. They had blown out part of it. And then they repaired part of it. And I'm sitting there one day holding my machine gun, and I heard this loud crash, and I looked down there, and the bridge is falling in the river. We lost quite a few engineers, and immediately they started putting pontoon bridge across the river, which was 1,100 feet wide, with a current of 7 miles an hour. But when I crossed that bridge with my tractor, my gun, and 15 men and all our equipment, I had about close to 60,000 pounds on a pontoon bridge. I was running in the water. I couldn't see the bridge immediately in front of me. I could see it on out there. Most of the time we had food. There were times when we didn't. We'd raid farmers' chickens, their beef, or whatever we could find, all the time with the exception of the Battle of the Bulge. Battle of the Bulge, I was mostly in Belgium, part of Luxembourg, and then into Germany. I can't describe it in a manner that anybody would thoroughly understand it, because if you weren't there, you can't understand it. I've seen people with one part over here, another part over here, and another part on a fence. I've seen them stacked in 2.5-ton trucks. It's not a pleasant thing. But by the grace of God, somehow I survived. The war was, I don't remember the exact date it was over, but I got home in February '46. I was only over there 19 months. What it did for me, I was never rowdy, never got in trouble. The first year I was in the Army, and especially after I got into combat, I left the boy behind and became a man.